will.
I know.
No, we're still on the same bill.
Okay, we're going to go ahead.
Yep, I'm fine.
Okay, I'd like to recognize Terry Wolf, Representative Terry Wolf, for a motion.
I move that we ought to pass on amendment 0071. I
Is there a
second
second?
that.
Representative Sullivan seconded the motion. Do you care to speak to your motion?
Yes, thank you. I'd just like to, the task force, the joint task force did a lot of work on this bill. This bill has evolved quite a bit over time from some specific hour requirements, some specific curriculum. This motion changes shall to should on line 6. And what it does is make sure that local districts still have local control to decide what grade levels are appropriate and exactly what type of education that they would like to offer.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion? Yes, Representative.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like to oppose the amendment and just bring to people's attention, as we spoke earlier about the minimum standards. But I also want to remind you of, I take you back to the early 90s when we had Goals 2000 under President Bush. We, at that time, did a huge professional development for principals and teachers, K through 12, around drug and alcohol education. I think if we really look at what we're doing and how we consider this, we need to put drug and alcohol education in context. In kindergarten, it would look much different than it would in middle school and in high school. Age appropriate, developmental is absolutely so important. What I am so upset about this bill and the amendment, we don't talk about professional development for teachers. And I think it's critically important, as we did in the 90s, we educated our teachers, we gave them practice sessions about what it looks like in the classroom. We even videotaped back in the day about what do good lesson plans look like when we're talking to children about making good choices. You know, if you find a needle, you bring it to an adult. Depending upon the age level, everything has to be age appropriate. So I think we already have the authority in our laws and in our rules that gives that authority to school districts to develop policies. And in health education, it says that part of the curriculum should be about drug and alcohol training. So I think by simply saying should lessens the impact of the message that we want our children to hear. In the 90s, we saw in our youth risk behavior surveys, when we did the high level of classroom instruction for children, we saw a reduction in the use of drug and alcohol. And in the years gone by since the federal funding stopped for that, we seem to have not put such an emphasis on it. And with the critical epidemic we have right now of heroin, of things being sold over the counter, this spice or whatever it is, I think we have a serious concern, and I think children need to be armed with information to be able to make good choices. For those reasons, I oppose the amendment. Thank you, Mr.
Is
Chair.
there further discussion? Yes, Representative Myler.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I too will oppose this change. I think this is an important bill, but like Representative Heath, it does not include currently any kind of professional development, nor does it really include any parental involvement in it. I think the parental issue is an important part here. And I think subsequent to this, some legislation needs to be introduced that would deal with professional development and the role that parents do play in this vital role. There needs to be a partnership between the schools and the community as it relates to this important issue. This is not just a school issue. This is a community issue. And that's why I think by changing this to should weakens the mandate for this particular fact to go forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Representative Bershorn.
I will be a little bit of a one-note person here, but the last session, we passed 2 bills to say we should teach multiplication tables and we should teach cursive. And I oppose both those bills because of the word should. I don't think you put into legislation, somebody should do something. And on that principle alone, this amendment doesn't meet a standard. And so I'll vote against the amendment.
Is there any further discussion? Representative Giles?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I think that great credit should be given to Senator Stiles for addressing the area of education and to the task force for looking at education as a prevention piece to be very important in the process of dealing with the crisis that we're currently experiencing. However, as you've already heard, when you use language that weakens a policy, should is neither here nor there. It doesn't really send the message that we feel needs to be sent. You have already heard that much of our discussion focused on the need to add further bills addressing the area of in-service education for teachers and parent engagement, particularly in the review of the so-called evidence-based prevention materials. So I think you've heard from a number of my colleagues that I will also be voting against the word should.
Is there any, yes, Representative Grenier?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would say that the word should may weaken our authority as to how these children should be educated, or at what grade, or what curriculum. But I would contend that the should actually strengthens the position of the school board and teachers and parents to make the appropriate decision in their schools. I am troubled to think that we would have to have a certain amount of education on this when it's a kindergarten or first grade or second grade student. By saying should, we are saying to our local districts, now you have the power to decide where you think is the best place for this, where parents can have input on this. So although I think the word should may weaken our authority, I think it puts more authority where it belongs, and that would be in the local district.
Thank you very much, Representative Grenier. Any further discussion? Not seeing any hands. Madam Clerk?
You did a second.
Pardon me?
You did a second.
Yeah.
Sullivan.
Representative Sullivan.
This is ought to pass on amendment 0017H.
7-1H.
Wait a minute. 0071H, that's correct.
Oh,
I apologize
71.
too. You
Dyslexic.
got it, you got it there.
00, actually, I'm not dyslexic, it's Friday. Okay. Representative Balcom,
Yes?
Representative Bohm is absent, Representative Cardelli is absent, Representative Grenier,
Yes.
Representative Elliott,
Yes.
Representative Adams is absent, Representative Cook,
Yes.
Representative Moore,
Yes.
Representative Osborne is absent, Representative Sullivan,
Yes.
Representative Wolf,
Yes.
Representative Guile,
No.
Representative Shaw, yes, Representative Gorman,
No.
Representative Frazier is absent, Representative Schmidt is absent, Representative Myler,
No.
Representative Rolo,
No.
Representative Heath,
No,
Representative Versharon,
No.
Representative Ladd.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 no.
Is there a motion?
What's the total, please?
9 to
Mr.
6.
Grenier, you would care to make a motion to approve the 369 as amended?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. I will move ought to pass on SB 369 as amended by amendment 007.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Representative Wolf,
This
second.
better than the original bill, the whole thing should be shut down.
You care to speak to it, or want me to just move on?
It would be my opinion that speaking to the amendment, which is now a bill, is to go with that.
Thank you very much. Any further discussion? Now, clerk, can you call the vote, please?
Yes. This is ought to pass with amendment. Representative Balcom,
Yes.
Representative Grenier,
Yes.
Representative Elliott,
Yes.
Representative Cook,
Yes.
Representative Moore,
Yes.
Representative Sullivan,
Yes.
Representative Wolf,
Yes.
Representative Guile,
No,
Representative Shaw, yes. Representative Gorman, Representative Myler,
Yes.
Representative Rolo.
Yes.
Did you say yes?
Yes.
So did
Representative Heath,
Yes.
Representative Sharon,
No.
How about me?
Representative Ladd.
Yes.
12-3.
Thank you very much. This concludes our executive session on 369. Remind everybody that in about 4 or 5 minutes, we'll be starting with a presentation from the Department of Education on the new ESSA Act. Thank you very much. Yes.
May I write a minority report?
Yes, you're more than welcome to. And
Oh, yeah.
Jim, you were so eloquent.
Yeah, you got me.
Thank you. We're done.